Hey everybody, Robot here. So here I have the 2025 GTS 310 Supertech, and right next to it a 2024 GTS 300 Supertech. So there's more than just the engine that's changed on the Supertech, and this also carries over to the Primavera Tech, and same with the Sprint Tech. They have the keyless actually on those models, so that's even a bigger change. But of course, they've had the keyless on 2023 and later for the GTS full-size scooters, but they finally updated the screen after 5 model years. So I'm going to try boot both of them up. You can see, obviously it's a bigger screen, kind of a completely different software. They kind of reworked the whole entire interface on the 2025 versus the outgoing 2024. I've always criticized how slow and clunky this interface is. It's just difficult to use. I know they have a nice little 4-way joystick with the enter in it, and that's pretty much a carryover on the 2025 Supertech as well. But I just feel like the information's a lot easier to read. It now gives you telltales on how to use, the different functions. You can, tells you just a little bit more information. And I'll kind of go over all the functions that are found on this new 2025 dash here. So it comes alive pretty quickly. You can see it now has these messages, and I find that's really useful. Before you kind of had to know how the functionality of it pretty much says you can go up and down to change the different settings, volts, average speed, maximum speed, your travel time, and trip odometer, total miles, and distance till empty. And I also notice they always show the distance till empty right next to the fuel gauge, which I find is pretty useful. So it's a little redundant that it shows it in 2 different spots. And then of course, if you're concerned with your fuel economy, you can see your real-time fuel economy. But pretty much up, down will change that. And then if you go left and right, you can change these 5 different icons under here. So you can be connected with the Bluetooth app, the Piaggio multimedia platform. I've talked about, I don't know if it's improved. I sure hope it has, because it's always been pretty buggy in my experience. But you can control a smartphone with a Bluetooth headset, see what song's playing, flip through your songs, change the volume, answer a call, and that sort of thing. And there's where if you had a phone connected, it would actually even show you the caller ID of the phone call coming in. So those 2 are the Bluetooth connectivity. There's one last feature, and it's the navigator. There's an app that's part of it. And don't get too excited. It's not Apple CarPlay. It's not Android Auto, where it mirrors your Google Maps that look beautiful on the screen. All it does is gives you some basic turn by turn. You can have it sync to that app with that app that has navigation. I've played with it before. I'll have to try it out. So I don't really have experience with this newest screen. Hopefully it's a little more useful. And then you got the settings, and you can do a long press to go into the menu and change the basics like the language. It's definitely a lot more responsive. See, everything's just quicker. The old one was just really, really laggy. The problem, I like to criticize the screen, but I know what the gold standard is. If you look at the stuff that's come out of China, you look at Tesla, Rivian, any of those companies that are software forward companies, all this stuff just works perfect. It's super fast, and just really useful and easy and intuitive to use. And I kind of find that it's just a little behind the times. I know it's on a scooter. I don't think it's 100% necessary, but I do have a lot of customers that like this screen. They think it's pretty nice, and obviously I'm kind of letting you know my opinion about it. Not 100% needed, but does have some useful stuff, and it's nice to see that's been improved. So some of the other changes I noticed on this 2025 Supertech is all the colors are the same, but now they've added more chrome to it. So before they kind of had like a dull matte titanium finish for the edge trim around the leg shield and the speedometer bezel. Now it's all chrome, so kind of similar to the Super or the standard GTS and the chrome switchgear, chrome bar ends, all that stuff. The seats changed a little bit. The graphics are all pretty much the same, and of course you have the new 310cc engine. So that's kind of the biggest upgrade going between a 2024 and 2025, and then next would be the speedometer. The feature that surprised me, they added some puddle lights. So pretty much whenever you turn the scooter on or when you turn it off, they're on a timer. When you're riding the scooter, they're not going to be on, but there's lights that illuminate the floorboard and your surroundings, and they're located right under here. They're pretty nice ambient light. You can kind of see what you're doing. You open up the glove box, see what's inside the glove box, which is pretty neat. You know, so you got the lights that kind of illuminate inside the glove box, and if you go underneath the seat, even the prior generation, they did have an underseat light as well. So it kind of illuminates the whole underseat area. So you get kind of some extra luxury features on the Supertech, including a rug that's in the bottom of the pet carrier, or seat bucket, as I like to call it. So some nice little subtle touches. I'll probably do a more in-depth review of the 310 and talk about all the technical differences on one of my more lengthy videos back in the workshop. Thanks for watching. Robot here from Vespa Motorsport and ScooterWest.com. We'll see you on the next one.